see these parallels. And I think Spikey's going to want to hop in if you want to even keep carrying this forward, Spikey. Just a discussion, nationality versus ethnicity and what's happening with the idea of the English ethnicity. And really, just from listening to you, Spikey, Belfast, maybe others because I was cleaning up from yesterday, it does seem like they're erasing the ethnicity and that it's being allowed for the same reasons that big old white men don't want to be big old white men anymore. They did the bad. They're tired of being blamed for it. So they think they can divest themselves of that. And I feel like this whole white colonialists should all be crucified stuff is related to what you're going through. And it's just very notable. I mean, Canada, the US, Australia are all, sequels from England. And
Yeah.
those three places, that is very different. If you're born in Canada, you're Canadian. I mean, I'll speak as an American, USian. If you're born here, you're American. If you're born here, it's the United States. But that's not the same for everywhere. And it feels like it's being forced on you. And I'm just not the kind of person that likes that. But you go on, Spakey. I really like hearing the things that you say about this.
Oh, I just found it's really interesting in the difference. But again, yeah, I mean, I talk about being born in England and being English, but in reality, I was born on fucking Pluto and grew up on Pluto because I grew up in the military. Sometimes it's like I grew up in a different world. Yeah, and I wonder how much and like I say, I don't have a hometown. So England is like my hometown, I suppose. So I wonder how much sort of like why I hear when, I hear people that sound just like me calling themselves British and won't say they're English, if I'm that bit more attuned to it because of that.
I think there's a long history with this too, because I've read a little bit about people coming home from India where multiple generations had been born, and yet they were quite firmly English and English culture. People coming back to England after having it held up as the motherland, the paradise, everything is right there, and not feeling at home and hating it. Go ahead, Joe. Hi, good morning.
Oh, hello there. Hi, everybody. Yeah, it is interesting how everybody has different thoughts on this like ethnicity thing, isn't it? Because I would say I was English, and then I would say I was British, and then I would say I was European, but all of that would be geographical. So, and then my DNA and my heritage would be more to do with like my ethnicity. That's how I would think of it. That's like just really plain and simple for me. So if you're born in England or if you've relocated to England from somebody else and it's now what you consider your home, then I would consider you to be English.
Yeah, same. And
I,
it was interesting to hear from what Jane said about, them not being allowed to call herself English and them having calling herself and her kids and family British because they were beaten up by the skinheads for saying they were English or by the racists. It was an issue for racists. I had no clue about that in that way.
you definitely hear more, I feel that you hear more English people call themselves British than you do from people from Ireland or Wales or Scotland. They tend to say they're Irish, Scottish or Welsh. And people from England seem to say that they're British. And I don't know if that's because we live in the country that kind of, unfortunately, kind of has the influence to govern over these people.
Yeah.
It's
That,
definitely strange from the point of view of the US, where people will say, what's your nationality? Oh, I'm Italian. Americans will say, I'm Irish. But your nationality is the flag you fly under. It's your legal, political stance in the world, right? Ethnicity is the deal. But my mother's 100% Italian, but she's American. It doesn't. I think English is an ethnicity because if it's not, what is the ethnicity of the people whose ethnic roots are there?
But isn't like the actual definition of ethnicity more to do with kind of like DNA? I don't know. That's how I would think of ethnicity. I would think of ethnicity as if you're like if you know your parents' ancestral home was Indian, say, then you would be from Indian stock, so to speak. That's where I would go with ethnicity.
Ethnicity is a population or subgroup of a common cultural background with descent. So English as a culture is separate from Irish, Scottish, and Welsh, right? So I think it does classify as an ethnic group.
Yeah, but it is interesting from the point of view of saying about this kind of like, you know, the wealthy people and their white guilt routine. Yeah, because they're feeling all this badness, they're wanting to dissect everything so they can make themselves feel better. And nobody's benefiting from this ideas of that they're doing. This lack of community that people are seriously feeling, that is a big deal. And it has, communities were previously built on the backs of mothers. And well, we've had waves of immigration in the past. Yeah, you know, the mums helped each other out. Yeah, integration took place in a lot of the areas, and it was, you know, just the mums, you know, the immigrant mums and their kids, and the English mum and their kids all getting together, all helping each other out, all working shit out. Yeah, but the problems were the men. Yeah, the men didn't like this other than, and I know women were too. Yeah, and women could be snotty too. But most of the time, women would come together because of the kids. Yeah, and the men would see that as some sort of drain on their own resource, and in some sort of way as he's giving this other family something that he's got. Whereas I think women don't tend to be like this, and I do think the way this is getting divided up, and the middle class lot and their snootiness has always been the same, and they'll be snooty towards anyone that they can put beneath them, because in order to be middle class, surely you have to have people beneath you. If you're not middle class, then if you are middle class, then that's built on that level, isn't it? That you are higher than the people beneath you. So the whole sort of like all of it, I think, is this male competition for status and like
Get
territory
in on the
marking.
tea. Tell us the proper way, Gosley. Tell us the proper way to teabag.
No, well, one shouldn't use tea bags. Obviously, one should use a teapot and lose tea.
Oh, damn
but,
it.
but it just reminded me so much of my mother. And we always drank Lapsang Souchong at home. The thing is, my mother's taste was, but I'm saying this with a fondness, not with a criticism, was purely aspirational.
Yeah, but what I was going to ask about your mum was, right, was she trying to be posh by drinking that tea, or did she just kind of move her way up, tasted different things, and preferred the more expensive things because she got used to them and she could afford them? Or was she just trying to be one of these cunts like, I'm just going to buy this shit
No.
anyway?
I mean, my mother she wasn't a cunt. She rather preferred it. I still quite like a loose leaf tea in a nice pot in the right sort of cups. I think it's rather nice, just occasionally. But I mean, no. I mean, unless one is really self-indulgent, no one's going to do that for oneself alone.
Well, I just want to say the tea convo was great. Gosley, you got me to remember that I hadn't had that tea in so long, and so I just ordered some Lapsang. Taylor's of Harrogate. They seem to be connected to Yorkshire. Am I right there? Yes?
Yes, absolutely.
So that's the one
yes.
I got.
Harrogate is well known for its very lovely tea shops.
Society is trying to change the name of all our birds in Britain, right? This is a problem. While you're talking, right, the words like, they're saying that our bird names are racist, like blue tit, black fucking doe, fucking whatever, blah, blah, blah. There was a big thing on Twitter. This American Bird Society is trying to fucking change all of our bird names because they're racist and misogynistic, apparently. I'm trying to find the thing.
To be honest, I am all for naming them what they look like. Like red
Robin
flappy
Redbreast
thing,
is
blue
misogynistic.
flappy thing.
Hold
You
on,
know,
Amanda. What, Jess?
I was just gonna say, I'm all for changing all of their names to what they actually look like, so that we can name them by what they actually look like.
So
Yeah,
a
but a
red
Robin
robin. Hold on.
Redbreast.
No, that would be fat red belly.
Well, we
Yeah,
call it,
yeah.
well, okay, in Scotland we call it a Robin Redbreast. That's what we call it, right? So apparently that's misogynistic, obviously, because you're talking about a red breast. So, like, why can't you just call it a robin? Because there's not really any other bird that looks like that, that's got a red chest. And
But
it's like,
both
because we
sexes
call
have
it a robin
breasts,
redbreast,
yeah?
because that's what
Breast
the
is just
fuck,
another word for
yeah.
chest, isn't it?
But apparently it's misogynistic, or blue tit, or jack, or black fucking door, whatever the fuck
This
it
is
is.
trans bollocks. This is some trans bollocks
Yep,
again.
yep.
Oh,
I mean,
Robin
there's an
Redbreast
argument
made
that
my
breast is
dysphoria.
the least misogynistic way to describe that body part, because that's what it is.
Robin Red Chest. Thank you very much.
Robin Red meat bags. Robin Red tatas.
How about we
Red
just get
fez.
fucking crows and magpies and teach them how to peck the eyes out of people who talk about this fucking shit,
You can
right? Like,
befriend
oh, is
magpies.
that right? Well, I'm
Like,
just
you
going
can
to be.
befriend
You ever
them
seen
and then
Disney
train
films?
them.
We can be Disney. Yeah, we can be the Disney princesses. We can get the flying monkeys. We can get the crows. We can get the fucking bunnies, the squirrels, the deer, the fucking everything. We can get the fucking fish. Like, fuck them all.
To be fair, one of my plans of attack for the zombie apocalypse was to train pigeons. So I'm already with you.
Oh my God, pigeon training. That's what they do in Scotland. It's an actual sport. They call it doos, homing pigeons and all that shit. Doing it for fucking years.
Yeah, they used to communicate with France like that.
I'm just wondering if woodpecker is transphobic. Does it have to be changed to something
Definitely
else?
is,
Not
yeah. Should be
non-binary
flaccid pecker.
pecker.
Flaccid
It's
pecker.
kind of double transphobic. No matter which one you want to change, you have to change them both.
Oh my God, is that why you Americans call boys' dicks peckers?
I think so. There's so many words for it, you sort of lose track.